For the first time in nearly 30 years, the design of the Ravens' home and away uniforms has changed in a drastic way. Over the last few weeks, the Ravens' social media accounts have all been generating hype for this reveal using the tag the next flight. If you notice the daylight in the background, it's because I have to record this the morning after the reveal. Naturally, the Ravens, knowing that I work 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. during my work shifts, decided to do the reveal at 7:45 p.m. on a work night. So I made sure to log out of all of my socials beforehand to make sure I didn't spoil myself by seeing any screenshots, any pictures, any videos, anything like that. Yo, YouTube, it's Rocketman checking in, and in this one, I'm giving my raw, unfiltered thoughts and reactions to the new Ravens uniform release. Before I open up the Ravens social media account and see what the new uniforms look like, though, I wanted to take a quick minute, pull one of the jerseys from my collection of the now old jersey design, and share what I think should stay from that design, what should go, and just give my overall thoughts on what I hope the new uniforms will look like. So with me, I have a Ravens CJ Mosley 20th anniversary edition jersey. Obviously, ignore the 20th anniversary patch, that's not relevant. But the main thing that I want to see return from this design is actually this right here, the Ravens word mark on the front. I think that this word mark is one of the most unique ones in the league. I love the font. I love how much it stands out compared to the other teams' word mark logos. And I really hope that they keep this and not switch to something generic like a bunch of teams have been doing recently. Another thing I'd like to see brought over to the new uniforms from this design is the golden black coloring around the outside of the numbers. The number font I don't think necessarily needs to be changed, though if they do decide to change it, I don't think it'd be the worst thing in the world. But I really like how the golden black accentuates the numbers and almost gives this 3D effect. I think it looks really nice and it's very unique to the Ravens, so I think it'd be a shame if these are removed. With this new drop of jerseys being called the next flight, I'd honestly be surprised to see the Shield logo come back on the arm. Though I do think that it is very iconic and it's obviously very beloved within the community, I'd be excited to see what they could come up with in its place. And I think that if it's done right, it could honestly become just as iconic as the Shield logo is. The last thing to touch on with this jersey is the choice in font for the letters in the last name. I think it's just fine. It's never really stuck out to me as anything special. If they did something like give it some sort of border to make it stick out a little bit more, I think that could be cool. But if they don't change it as is, I think it's just okay, fine. And zooming out to the overall uniform, I'm not expecting too much changes to the pants or socks, though I guess it does depend on what the changes in design are to the jersey that will determine how much the pants and socks change. I can't really give any foresight on that because obviously I haven't seen the new jerseys yet. So while I can't say too much about the pants or socks, one idea that I have for the helmet that I would love to see the Ravens do is change from a glossy black helmet that they've been using to a matte black helmet. I am a sucker for matte helmets. I love them. The matte helmets around the league I think are the best looking ones. And the Ravens have been using a matte helmet in their alternate uniform the last couple seasons. Those purple matte helmets with the secondary logo, the one that's on my hat, I think those look phenomenal. So if the Ravens decided to go with a matte black helmet moving forward, I would be through the roof. Those are my wishes for some of the design cues I'd love to see in the new uniforms, but hey, I won't know if my wishes came true unless I see them, right? So let's go ahead and check out the next flight, the new Ravens primary uniforms. Here we go. So let's pull up the Ravens Twitter account, X, whatever you call it. The next flight, you can see, I'm assuming that's a new matte purple helmet. I called it. I said a matte helmet would be awesome. All credit for the video is to the Ravens, by the way. I feel like I should say that. Man, please don't disappoint. Please don't disappoint. These have been hyped up for like 3 weeks. I really hope that these look as good as they've been hyping them up to be. Is that a new black helmet with the secondary logo? Yo, that's sick if that's true. Okay, so the new black looks a lot like the practice uniforms. So they took out the gold, but it looks like they replaced the gold on the border of the numbers with like silver. It looks like that I can tell at least. Yo, the matte helmets are so in. I love it. I love the matte helmets. I said it and I'm so hyped about it. I love matte helmets so much. I'm so excited to see that. Yeah, those these uniforms right now that are being shown, those look a lot like the practice uniforms, and I think that's cool. The black and purple, like there's no gold, it's just black and purple. Okay, all right. So there's 4 different uniforms. It looks like. Let's go ahead. Let's check that out. Okay, so these are the new away uniforms. So looking at it, The purple helmet, the purple matte helmet is the first thing that sticks out. I love that. I love that so much. And they decided to bring the primary logo onto the purple helmet. I think it's the same matte purple design from the secondary helmet, but it's just the primary logo in its place. And so as far as the actual uniform goes, the Baltimore is stretched out like that. It's a little too much like what a lot of teams have been doing with that kind of wide just block font, which I'm not a fan of, but the numbers look to be the same style, the same font, I should say. The coloring, like I said, around the outside looks like it's changed from a gold to a silver, which is okay. I don't necessarily think it's good or bad. I do like the purple stripe around the arm. I think that's cool looking. They do keep the shield, so that's all right. They have like the new like kind of feather. It's supposed to be a feather pattern around the neckline, which I think looks better than what they had before. It looks like they have the black pants, purple pants. I imagine they're gonna have white on white. Well, white on white is right there, duh. So black, purple, white pants, all for the away uniform. Matte helmets are a big plus. The change to gold, the change from gold to silver is okay. Like I said, the Baltimore font, I don't like that it's stretched out like that. Like I said, it feels a little bit too much like the other teams that have been doing that style recently. The feather around the neckline is pretty cool, and then like I said, that purple stripe. I don't think that was there before, but I think that looks pretty nice. So that's the away uniform. We move on. Let's find. Okay, let's look at the helmet lineup. So matte purple helmet, which with the primary logo, which we just talked about. I like that a lot. Unfortunately, it looks like the black helmet, the primary black, is still a glossy black, at least from this angle. It looks like it is, which is a little bit of a letdown, but the helmets weren't bad before by any means, so I guess it's not the worst thing. And then looks like a midnight blue. It looks like a like very, very dark blue, but it could just be the lighting. This black helmet with the secondary logo with just the red eyes. That is tough. That is so tough looking. So I love the two matte. Like I said, the primary black still being glossy is a little bit of a letdown, but it doesn't really need to be changed too much. Like it still looks good, so that's fine. Um, let's go ahead. Let's look at the purple alternates. So these I think are still the same from how they were last year as far as the actual jersey and uniform goes. It's just that the helmet again changed from the secondary to the purple. The not the purple. The I was reading Purple Rising. The logo changed from the secondary to the primary. That looks incredibly tough. I love that, but everything else that I can tell still looks the same. Um, Unless, wait, hold on. I think that the shield. So they kept the shield, but it looks like on this uniform they changed it to just purple and gold instead of having the red and all that stuff to represent the state of Maryland, the actual Maryland state flag. I think they changed to the colors just to be purple and gold, which I think looks nice. But not really too much to say there. Let's look at the black. So this is the one with the black alternate helmet, the matte black helmet. Jerseys still look the same. The text spread out, widened just a little bit. I think that it looks better like that when it says Ravens than it does on those on the away uniforms where it says Baltimore. Those kind of stretch out a little bit too much. The word mark, I should say, but the Ravens, I think that still looks pretty much the same. Maybe the letters just a little bit wider, but that's not the worst thing in the world. Again, the coloring around the outside changed from gold to silver. That's fine. I guess I won't really know until I see it as far as if I prefer the gold or not. I'm leaning towards still preferring the gold to be honest, but the silver does look clean. Um, and then similar thing like with the purple alternate as far as the shield logo, it looks like in this version right here, it looks like it's been changed to be black and purple to be expected. It's a black uniform. I think that looks tough. And again, the helmets are the star of the show for me. The matte black helmet, the red eye secondary logo looks insanely tough. The purple helmet with the primary logo looks really good as well. And okay, so here's all four of them next to each other. So Again, the thing that sticks out is the Baltimore looks a little bit too wonky to me. That's the letters that I think are a little bit too spread out, but the Ravens still looks fine. These uniforms still pretty much retain the same identity that they've had, just changing the gold outline to silver, like I said. And then the primary helmets stay, unfortunately, glossy black instead of matte black. But we do get a matte black alternate helmet, which is tough looking. And the purple helmet, the matte purple helmet with the primary logo. I know I keep repeating the same things. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to take in the info that I'm seeing. And if I'm repeating stuff a lot, I apologize. But I think overall, you know, I think that the Ravens knew what they had in their branding before. They just changed some things, tweaked some things a little bit. I'll be honest, the 3 weeks of hyping it up just for it to be pretty much mostly the same is kind of, I don't know, but I do think that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Ultimately, I think that the Ravens knew that they had a good brand. The way that someone said it best is the Ravens have like a top 10. If I can find the tweet, I'll put it up on the screen. The Ravens have a top 10 brand and uniform in the league, but they're risking getting rid of that to go for the top and the best brand and best uniform in the league. And while I don't think it's the best with these changes, I do think that it's at least as good, if not better, than it was before. So, oh, this is cool. The OG Ravens wing arm patch being referenced in the neckline of the uniforms now. I think that's cool. I didn't really pay that much attention to that, but I think that is a good change. It makes the neckline stand out more than it did before. So, because I think before it was just solid black around the neckline that gives it more of a brand. It makes it a little more unique. So I like that. So those were my first thoughts and reactions to the new Ravens uniform sets. Let me know in the comments what you think. Like I said a minute ago, in my opinion, everything is pretty much equal to, if not better than it was before. Again, the star of the show for me, those two matte helmets, I love both of those. The only thing that really sticks out to me off the top of my head that I don't necessarily like is that Baltimore font on the away uniform being so stretched out. I just think it looks a little tacky, but everything else to me, I think looks good. Like I said, I'm still undecided on if I think the gold outline or the silver outline looks better, but I think with time I'll just make a decision on that. Everything else, I think it looks phenomenal. Though I do think that 3 weeks of hyping it up just for the changes to be that minimal were a little bit disappointing. But again, let me know in the comments what you thought of the new uniforms. Let me know if you prefer the new uniforms to the old ones or vice versa. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff if you enjoyed the video. Turn on notifications as well. Follow me over on Twitch, twitch.tv/rocketman0127. With that being said, thank you for watching.